On Monday night, a leaked draft of the Supreme Court's upcoming decision on Roe v. Wade, basically killing the right to an abortion, was released. Now, there's some responses to this. Again, Republicans are just absolutely in glee, whereas you have Democrats that are basically saying, please vote. Vote harder, everybody. Now, look, let's go to Joe Biden, who this morning released a statement, and then later on, of course, reiterated some of this in a video. I don't have that video, but I will read you the statement here, and then I'm going to tell you what we should have done. Here's what he said. He said, "We do not know whether this draft is genuine or whether it reflects the final decision of the court." Now, this is before it was confirmed as being authentic, but he goes on. With that critical caveat, I want to be clear on the 3 points about the cases before the Supreme Court. First, my administration argued strongly before the court in defense of Roe v. Wade. We said that Roe is based on a long line of precedent recognizing the 14th Amendment's concept of personal liberty against government interference with intensely personal decisions. I believe that a woman's right to choose is fundamental. Roe has been the law of the land for almost 50 years. Basic fairness and the stability of our law demand that it not be overturned. So let me just start there and say, do you think Republicans give a shit about precedent? Do you think that Republicans are going to care about laws and norms? These are people that rushed the Capitol on January 6th. These are people of which half of them do not believe that Joe Biden won the election fairly. Now, of course they don't care. Again, this is getting to the problem with the Democrats, okay? But first, let me continue with this, okay? So now, he said, secondly, shortly after the enactment of the Texas law SB 8 and other laws restricting women's reproductive rights, I directed my Gender Policy Council and White House counsel's office to prepare options for an administration response to the continued attack on abortion and reproductive rights, under a variety of possible outcomes in the cases pending before the Supreme Court. We will be ready when any ruling is issued. Third, if the court does overturn Roe, it will fall on the nation's elected officials at all levels of government to protect a women's right to choose. And it will fall on voters to elect pro-choice officials this November. At the federal level, we will need more pro-choice senators and a pro-choice majority in the House to adopt legislation that codifies Roe, which I will work to pass and sign into law. So, basically, vote harder, guys. Get out there. Vote. Okay, but here's the thing, right? You're in power. People put you in power. And you've done nothing about this. Nothing. You could have codified this before. Didn't happen. And by the way, we are looking into preparing some options. Why didn't you do that before? This is not something that should have happened. They should have been planning this. Even before Trump gave Republicans a majority in the Supreme Court. I mean, Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, Neil Gorsuch. How did you not know that they were going to go after Roe v. Wade? When they said, we're going after Roe v. Wade, everybody. Well, okay, to be fair, Kavanaugh and Gorsuch absolutely lied during their confirmation hearings. Republicans, you've been telling us who you are for as long as I've been in politics. Why don't Democrats listen? They're telling you this is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of reproductive freedom. We're going to get rid of the right for gay people to get married. We're going to go after trans people. And then they do it. And Democrats are Pikachu face. Oh my God. I can't believe they would do the things that they tell us that they were going to do. Well, that's completely different from what we do. We tell people that we're going to do all sorts of things, and then we don't do it. And then we come up with excuses like the parliamentarian. We come up with excuses like, oh, filibuster. What are you going to do? Shoot. We're going to raise the minimum wage and make your life objectively better. But we couldn't parliamentarian. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So apparently now they tell us, well, vote. You got to go there and vote. You got to vote harder. You got to vote harder. So that what? When we get into power, we're still going to do nothing? Because they don't do anything. And again, Democrats do have share in the blame of this. Again, back in 2013, Harry Reid and the Democrats in the Senate, they killed the filibuster rule, right, on executive branch nominations and the federal judicial appointments. The Republicans then took power because Democrats didn't deliver and extended that to the SCOTUS nomination in 2017. Now, that is after Republicans blocked Merrick Garland's nomination to the Supreme Court for an entire year. Now, at that point, we had Barack Obama. Now, Barack Obama, early on in his presidency, had the option, had the ability, had the numbers to codify Roe v. Wade. He had a super majority. All three branches of government and the Supreme Court could have codified Roe v. Wade right then. But what did he do instead? Nothing. He went and gave us a pro-corporate healthcare plan. Spent all that political capital. Oh, the Republicans, they'll never get rid of Roe v. Wade. They'll never get rid of the right to an abortion. We believe that they will honor the precedent. Oh, yes. They have so much honor and respect for these institutions. Weakness. Utter weakness. And Republicans, they saw the weakness in the Democrats, saw that they had absolutely no spine. And so they attacked. And here's where we're at. So Democrats didn't fight back when Republicans blocked the nomination of Merrick Garland. They thought that Hillary Clinton was going to win. Oh, no worries. Hillary Clinton. The sheer fucking hubris, right? And at the same time, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who, look, I like RBG. I liked her. But at the same time, she was getting up there. She could have stepped down. She could have allowed the Democrats to pick her replacement. But instead of doing the effective thing, all they cared about is their legacy. The legacy. Oh, she'll be fine. Oh, you know what? She'll step down during Hillary Clinton's presidency. Yes. That thing that never actually happened. And then we'll let Hillary Clinton replace her. Which, again, didn't happen. And of course, throughout the entire thing, their messaging was infuriating. Have you seen the other side? Oh, I mean, we may be feckless corporate tools, but the other side's, at least we're not crazy like those people are. Oh, look at those crazy people. Well, thing is, if you're a feckless corporate tool that doesn't actually deliver for the people, you invite crazy. You invite crazy on the other sides. You create the division. You create the extremism by doing absolutely nothing to improve people's lives. So here we have, after that mess, President Trump, a Republican Congress, no Supreme Court nominee filibuster, and an ailing Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And Donald Trump got 3 Supreme Court nominees. Now, at that point, you would think, oh, God, we have messed up. We really shit the bed on this one. But no, they thought that they could continue to negotiate with Republicans. Negotiate. They thought they could support corporate Democrats like Henry Cuellar, who are anti-choice. By the way, they're not pro-choice, over pro-choice progressives like Jessica Cisneros in Texas. And in fact, they fought progressives in primaries way harder than they fought against these Republicans. I remember a conversation a few years ago with a more liberal friend, okay, who said that, oh, don't worry, Jeff, they'll never get rid of Roe v. Wade. And I said, well, why is that? I'm curious. Well, that's because they would lose their wedge issue and they would lose their fundraising. So, that look, they don't actually mean it when they say they're going to get rid of abortion. Oh, really? Yeah, I remember arguing at the time that Republicans were monstrous, and of course they would do it. They don't like the idea of reproductive freedom. They want to control women. And so when they get the chance, what are they going to do? They're going to kill it. Who was right? Unfortunately, I was, and I hate it. Look, these people, Republicans, are the monstrous people that we've known them to be. Okay? And so when they do something monstrous, that's not a surprise. But it seems to be a surprise to Democrats all the time, every time they do something not monstrous. Oh my God, I can't believe Republicans are a threat. Are a threat to women. Are a threat to democracy. I can't believe it. I didn't know this. I mean, yes, we're in the same cocktail circuit. I don't understand. I thought the game was you make threats of doing horrible things, but don't actually do it, and then we fundraise off of it. That's how it's supposed to work. But now you've gone and actually done the things, the horrible things that you said you were going to do, and you are just, you're still making it pretty easy for us to fundraise, but we're still not going to do anything. Again, they're not making threats anymore. They're doing it for real. And again, once Roe is gone, they're going to come after other things. They're going to come after Obergefell. They're going to come after voting rights. Even more so, they're going to come after everything the that the Democrats have failed in large part to stand up for. That's why people like Wendy Davis, Mallory McMurrow, that's when they went viral, because that was actually a time where where Democrats actually looked like they had a spine. It stood up against Republicans. And look, Democrats have been very silent when it comes to the culture wars. They, as a party, have not put forward that message. They have not fought back against Republicans when they lie about late-term abortions, when they lie about Black Lives Matter, not the organization, but the movement itself, when they lie about Antifa, when Democratic strategists like James Carville will come out and call wokeism a problem. Sounds like he just came off a segment on Tucker Carlson. Do you know that PragerU and Daily Wire, all these conservative organizations, have been pouring money, time, and resources into culture war issues, into propaganda, and have been aiming it at children, by the way? And Matt Walsh with his anti-trans book. Where are the Democrats fighting on the culture wars? All you see of them from Democrats is, oh, we just disagree with Republicans on just a little bit of stuff. But, I mean, we'll come together and say that, we both agree in spending more money in the military and doing more austerity. I mean, well, I totally agree with the Republicans on that, even though they're a little bit crazy on social issues. But, they're right about economic issues. No, they're not. And yes, some have finally come around to saying, well, it seems like some of them are kind of crazy. But, that's still not the whole Republican Party, right? No, it is the whole party. At this point, yes. Half of them believe that Biden is an illegitimate president. And half of that believe that Democrats are Satan-worshiping pedophiles who drink the blood of children. Some of the worst shit. Wake up, Democrats. Wakey, wakey. No more mealy-mouth responses. No, you actually need to fight. And I don't mean fight by fundraising, by telling people to vote harder. That's not going to solve the problem. Speaking up when you've already lost doesn't help anything. No, you need to actually fight Republicans for real. I'm not saying like physically, right? No, you need to engage in the culture wars. Okay? You need to engage also in economic populism, because that's where they're weak. And if you're not willing to fight back in the culture wars and to do economically populist things to actually help people's material conditions, then you need to get the fuck out of Congress and make way for people who actually will fight.